Hello stackers and collectors, welcome back to my channel. In this video we will discuss the price predictions for gold and silver for 2025. To start, we consider some of the factors influencing precious metal prices. Geopolitical uncertainty, ongoing geopolitical tensions and conflicts which drive investors toward safe haven assets like gold and silver. Monetary policy, potential interest rates cuts by central banks, particularly the US Federal Reserve. Reduce the opportunity costs of holding non-yielding assets, boosting demand for precious metals. Central bank purchases. Global central banks such as Russia, India, China have been moving away from the US dollar, increasing their gold reserves. This further supports prices. And finally, industrial demand, particularly for silver, which has many industrial applications, including its use in electronics and renewable energy technologies. Now looking at the 2024 price movement for gold and silver. Gold's opening price on January 1st, 2024 was $2,050 per ounce. The closing price in US dollars was $2,617.20. That represented a percentage gain for US dollar of approximately 27.7%. In sterling, it rose from £1,520 to £1,980 per ounce, representing a 30.3% gain in sterling. And in euros, it rose from €1,870 per ounce to €2,400 per ounce, representing a gain of 28.3%. Silver's opening price on January 1st, 2024 was $23.65 per ounce. Its closing price was $30.63 per ounce, representing a dollar gain of approximately 29.5%. In sterling, silver rose from £17.55 per ounce to £23.20 per ounce, representing a sterling gain of 32.2%. And in euros, silver rose from €21.60 per ounce to €27.90 per ounce, representing a gain of 29.2%. So what are some predictions by major media and financial institutions about the price of precious metals in 2025? The Wall Street Journal says that Wall Street expects gold to glitter again in 2025, that big banks are forecasting prices rising to $3,000 in the year ahead. The Financial Times headlines with "Gold set to rally further this year, say Wall Street banks. The yellow metal expected to continue to benefit from buying by global central banks." The price of gold is set to rise further in 2025. Gold is expected to climb to about $2,795 per ounce by the end of the year, according to the average forecast by banks and refiners surveyed by the Financial Times. That's a 7% rise on current levels. However, Henrik Marks, global head of trading at Heraeus Precious Metals, forecasts $2,950 per ounce. The World Gold Council said that this year's growth will be positive but much more modest. The most bullish call is surveyed from Goldman Sachs, which expects prices to reach $3,000 by the end of the year. The most bearish forecasts were from Barclays and Macquarie, which both expect gold to sink to about $2,500 per ounce by the end of the year. Global central banks bought 694 tons of gold during the first 9 months of 2024. The People's Bank of China announced in November that it was resuming gold purchase after a 6-month hiatus. Falling interest rates have contributed to gold's rally in the second half of the year. And because gold is a non-yielding asset, it typically benefits from lower interest rates. Trump's election win in November has provided one of the most favorable scenarios for gold due to the likelihood of elevated US fiscal spending and increased geopolitical uncertainty, said Michael Haig, head of commodities research at Societe Generale. And he is predicting a gold price rise to $2,900 per ounce by the end of the year. So looking in more detail at that bullish Goldman Sachs prediction, gold is forecast to climb higher than previously expected as central banks in emerging markets have ramped up purchases, according to Goldman Sachs research. Gold usually trades closely in line with interest rates. As an asset that doesn't offer any yield, it typically becomes less attractive to investors when interest rates are higher, and it's usually more desirable when rates fall. While that relationship still holds, central bank purchases have been a powerful force, resetting the level of gold prices higher since 2022. Goldman Sachs research analyst Lena Thomas writes in her team's report. The precious metal is expected to rise to 3,000 per troy ounce by the end of 2025, Thomas writes. Thomas points out that the relationship between changes in the gold prices and changes in interest rates still exists, but sizable central bank purchases of gold bars have reset the relationship between rate and price levels since 2022. Goldman Research estimates that 100,000 tons of physical demand lifts gold prices by at least 2.5%. There are less easily accessible mainstream media predictions for the price of silver for 2025. However, coinpriceforecast.com has listed a $31.40 4% increase prediction for 2025. So what are my own thoughts? I see the main drivers of gold price being continuing geopolitical uncertainty and continued gold purchases by the major world central banks. It seems that half the rise in percentage terms of 2024 being approximately 15% for 2025 is reasonable. This would lead to a gold price exceeding $3,000 by the end of 2025. If the gold to silver ratio stays at the current level of 85, this would mean a silver price approximately $35, which also seems reasonable. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? What's your prediction for 2025 for the price of gold and silver? I'd love to hear your comments. I've put the links to the articles in the description. I would really appreciate if you'd like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.